folks, my name is Hein and I'm sitting on the brand new Harley Davidson Pan America 1250. The bike's been given to me by Harley Davidson in Durban to test and give you some feedback, give you some valuable insights, my experience on the bike that I've had since I received the bike yesterday and today here on Lower Luteni. It's a nice piece of dirt road, beautiful scenery at the foot of Drakensberg, between Nottingham Road and Heimbo. And I thought, well, let's stop right here and give you a few of my thoughts and also highlight a few features that I really enjoy about this bike. Now let me start off by first saying this bike to me doesn't feel like a Harley. I've ridden a lot of bikes and I've ridden a lot of Harleys, and this doesn't feel like a Harley at all. Seriously, at all. The only thing that tells me this is a Harley is that badge on the side, the branding on the box, and the side stand feature. That's about it. This whole bike, even the motor on the bike is not the conventional Harley motor. The gearbox is not a conventional Harley motor. So let me just run through a few things that I really enjoyed. The bike, I must say, the bike impressed me. If you're a fan of the brand, and you're looking for something a bit more sport-like, something that can give you best of both worlds, tar or asphalt and dirt, then really this is a bike for you. The bike really impressed me. You know, I've been on other bikes before, and this one kind of really took me back immediately when I took the third, fourth bend and a nice roll-on coming out of a bend. It took me back to my FJR 1300. And what is that? That is a sports tourer. This is what this is for me. It's a sports tourer. This bike is smooth, it's powerful, it is comfortable, it is I don't know, it's energetic. It really ticks quite a few boxes if you're looking for that kind of excitement in a ride. And yes, with emphasis on the option of the ability to go off-road, because this takes you to beautiful scenery like this, no traffic, it's just you, nature, and the bike. Anyway, so let's get going from the handlebar down. So on the handlebar side, the riding position is like this. There we go. You can see it's a nice road-like riding position, not your conventional Harley ride or cruiser type ride. This is not a cruiser. This is really, to me, it's a adventure sports bike. So there's your riding position, and if you have to stand on the pegs, you must be careful, because the relation between the seats and the foot pegs, so the height of the foot pegs, is going to make you stand quite a bit over the tank. So you might have to bend them legs a little bit more when you have to deal with dirt and challenging obstacles. But the throttle, super smooth throttle. It's ride by wire. It's not your cable throttle. So the roll on and roll off is very smooth. It's responsive. This 1250 motor is really impressive. Braking, Brembo throughout, so it's decent brakes. Very sharp. I haven't tested them yet. On the clutch, it's a hydraulic clutch. So also in your gear changing, there's nothing clunky about this gearbox. There's nothing clunky about the motor. So the gear changing, super smooth gear changing. Throttle, very responsive. The power of this 1250 motor is right there on roll-on. We were sitting on a roll-on yesterday where I was doing about 100 kilometers an hour, and I was sitting in 6 and I just rolled on. The speedometer just jumped. So there's a lot of power in this bike. Something that I thought, well, this bike's going to be Harley-like an acceleration. It'll take a while. Not a chance. This thing definitely has a sufficient power to satisfy you. The tank is a 21-liter tank. So as per the range that it tells you when you filled up your tank, it says about 330 odd kilometers. But if you ride a little bit hooliganish, then you might see that range shrink quite a bit. But in general, if you sit with your 120, 130 kilometers an hour, then that range should be about 300 and something kilometers comfortably. As far as the suspension and the feedback is concerned, smooth ride. There's no bumping through a bend because you're sitting with a monoshock on the back. So, and the tires, they're running on Michelins, so I think it's a 17-inch on the back and so the 19-inch on the front. So Michelin's excellent road holding. I was giving it a bit some beans yesterday on the M7 and coming up to Motties this morning, and the bike really feels to me like a sports tourer. The box options they give you on these bikes, Harley branded, top quality. To me it looks very much like your SW Mocheck boxes being made for Harley and branded Harley. What else can I tell you about this bike? I mean, the screen here is not the standard screen, it's a Harley screen, but the standard screen is slightly higher and it has a bit of a lip, so I would have liked to have that screen on the bike instead of this one. But this one, this screen, although it can be adjusted, you can drop it way down like that, or you can bring it back up like this. It gave me, as a 6-foot rider, enough protection. I could feel a bit of punching on my shoulders, but it wasn't that I'm losing control or it's irritating. As far as my head was concerned, solid, no head butting or buffeting from the visor, from the screen. So it works. These side wind deflectors, it does what it's supposed to do. Other features of the bike is that, like I said, heated grips. You've got cruise control. You have you can connect your phone via Bluetooth and play music with your headset through your headset on your helmet. All the controls on your right hand side. You can switch traction control on and off. You've got different modes you can ride: road touring mode, off-road mode, sports mode, rain mode. You can change all of that. You know, off-road and off-road plus. I think the plus is where it switches everything off, meaning traction control and ABS. And then on your cruise control side, you've got that switch on, and heated grips is also on your left hand side, and a configuration on the display. Folks, I'm not going to go into the hectic stuff about the display. There are numerous features out there in customizing you can do on the different display. You can get a simple display or a more fully featured display with different widgets where you can customize the areas around your speedometer and lock that in, so that tells you your temperatures, it tells you your battery load, it tells you your fuel gauge, it also tells you where you've connected on your phone and so on. So all of that is added there. Indicator is one button indicator on the left hand side, which is fine. You know, I don't care about the conventional double indicator buttons, although it was quite nice to play with that in the past. That's it on the bike. I mean, Harley Davidson, they've added the crash bars on the side, they've added the grill, the protection on the headlights, the protection grill on the radiator on the front. They've added these boxes, and they've added this Screaming Eagle exhaust can on the bike as well. This bike is really impressive. What they could have done with this little brake fluid reservoir on the top, yeah. Anyway, it's not ugly, it's not in the way. You know, could they have done something else? Yeah, they could have, but it doesn't bother me. The main stand, or the center stand, is also where I'm standing on now, is an option for you to add to the bike as well. I think it's a nice option, especially if you park your bike in an area where the side stand is not going to do it for you, like soft surface or grass and so on. I would say learn how to put a bike on a main stand if you're a Harley rider, because Harleys don't actually come with a main stand. So that's it on this bike. Other than that, I can't really crit the bike at all, apart from the way that the passenger seat at the back here, you could see that little point there. It pushes right in the back of your butt here. So after a while, I felt, and I was riding it for about half an hour, I felt that was creating a sort of a numb spot, because it pushes me there. It's not hard, so I'm not sure what Harley's reasoning was behind making the passenger seat that way. The side stand is typical Harley side stand. In other words, one thing about a Harley side stand is once it's out, it's out. It locks into a slot there, so if something happens and the bike runs in neutral, forward or whatever, the side stand won't collapse. It sits, it stays there. So that's quite a nice thing about it. So that's probably one of the only things on this bike, apart from the badge on the tank, that tells me that this is a Harley, is that side stand, because I don't know of too many other bikes that has a side stand feature like that, where it locks and it can't collapse when the bike is moved forward or backwards. Folks, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. in my book, I'm impressed. The road holding and the performance through bends, solid, as you would expect from a quality or a performance bike. Throttle response and power of the bike is definitely there. I can't fault this bike. It's really, if you're a follower or a fan of the brand and you want to have a Harley, but you want to have the option for asphalt and for road and off-road, then really this bike is for you. Another nice feature, that I didn't mention earlier, is about the seat height adjustment. This bike, I'm not sure if it comes with a base model, but this bike has an automatic adjustment. So in other words, you can leave it on auto. So when you move off, it raises a little bit, and before you come to a stop, or when you stop, it drops the bike so that you can reach better to the ground. And you can also set the suspension if you're just a single rider, or you're carrying a passenger, or a passenger with load and so on. You can set all of that, or you can leave it on auto, and the bike will pick up on its load and adjust accordingly. If you don't like it like I have, I don't need to have a bike lowered or whatever. I like it slightly higher, so I've locked my riding position, and I'm happy with that. I don't want the bike to lower or lift suspension when I'm busy riding or coming to a stop. I don't need that. So that's also quite a nice feature from this bike. That's it in a nutshell, guys. We're going to go for a ride now, finish this road and get out to Heineville, and then hopefully we'll see some of these bikes on the road. Definitely in my book, give it a try, go for a good ride and enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching. Cheers for now.